I'm going to tell you how to fix a mistake that I see salespeople making that is, and you're probably making it too, that's causing your sales cycle to be a hell of a lot longer, making you more frustrated and having you chase deals way too long. Something you're probably not doing is before you give your information, be that whether you give them a proposal, whether you tell them how you're going to fix something, all those kind of things. Before you do all that, you need to understand how they're going to make their decision. So much bigger than, are you the decision maker? It's how are you going to make your decision? Again, not quite that simple either, but that's the big concept. And there's 6 questions that I'm going to tell you to ask. And by doing so, you'll learn a ton. And you'll probably won't waste as much time on people that weren't going to buy from you in the first place. How often does it happen to you that you send somebody a proposal, you feel really good about it, and then you get ghosted? Or you say to yourself, or I have people call me and go, well, I sent them this thing. How long do I wait until I follow up? Or, gosh, I don't know what's happened. They're ghosting me now, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what it is. Well, guess whose fault that is? It's always our fault. It's always our fault. There are no bad prospects. There are just bad salespeople, right? And doesn't mean you're bad, just means you're skipping a step, right? I teach a sales process from beginning to end. And one of the things that is very important we do before we give our information away is to verify, to validate what the decision-making process is. So here's what I want you to do. Before you give your information away, hey, here, ask these, I guess it's 7 questions. When were you all hoping to make a decision? When were you hoping to make this decision? Well, I would ask that question. Well, because if it's 2 years from now, then prices will be different, things will be different, might have a different solution, right? That's what I want to ask. First question, when were you all hoping to make a decision? A variation of that question is, when were you all hoping to have this stuff up and running? Tells you an idea. They say, we hope to have it up and running in 6 weeks. And you say, well, if you knew it was going to take 8 weeks, if you ordered it today, when do you think we need to be having this conversation? Help your prospect understand the situation. You understand yourself what's really going on. So question number 1, when were you hoping to make this decision, or when were you hoping to have this stuff up and running? Some version, whatever that is in your world. Second question, why then? Well, we need to make this decision in the next 30 days. Okay. Tell me why then? Well, because we need to have it installed by so-and-so and things need to be moving forward. Or we need to have a new firm doing this by then because of A, B, and C. There's a real opportunity there for you to uncover more pain, more problems, right? The timing of it. When were you open to do this? Why then? Third question, who else besides you needs to be a part of this process? Who else besides you needs to be included in this conversation? You understand the context here, right? I mean, you could be talking to the CEO, who's ultimately the decision maker for everything, or the plant manager. But maybe what the plant manager would say is, well, sure, I'm the decision maker, but I want to bring my safety guy in. I need to talk to HR. I need to talk to so-and-so. Those people ought to be part of this too. How often has it happened that you've given away your information and all of a sudden somebody goes, we got to run this by the safety people. And you hadn't even thought about that. You hadn't talked to them. Nothing's happened, right? Or we got to run this by the CEO or to the committee when you didn't know that was a thing. It's our job to understand that stuff. When were you hoping to make a decision? Why then? Who else besides you needs to be a part of this decision-making process? Now, big asterisk, big star here, we're learning. But also what you'll find is you're helping your customer think through their process. You're helping them think ahead. Presumably, they're looking for the help, right? They want, you already know they've got a pain. You're going to share with them how you're going to solve the pain. They're in. But there may be obstacles. Maybe they need to check with their spouse and they hadn't told you about that, or hadn't thought about it. Or need to run it by a committee or whatever else. You need to know that stuff ahead of time so you can help them. When were you open to make a decision? Why then? Who else besides you needs to be a part of this conversation? Next question. What do you need to see or hear from me to be able to make a decision? Some people, like me, I basically need a one-pager. I need to know, number 1, that I trust you, and number 2, how much is it going to cost? That's kind of what I need. If you give me a 60-page document, my eyes are going to roll. Chances are I'm not going to hire you. I might even be pissed off at you. realistically, I'll just flip to the back page and I'll look and see what it costs. You may not have to do 60-page proposals. You may not have to do all the information that you think you need to do. If you're somebody that needs tons of information, you're going to think everybody else does too, probably creating work for yourself. If you're somebody like me that looks for a one-pager, just a one thing, that's my temptation. Somebody needs more. I want to know that sooner rather than later, before I send off the wrong thing. When you're going to make a decision? Why then? Who else besides you? What will you need to see or hear from me to be able to make that kind of decision? Next question is, who else are you talking to? How many times have you offered, thought you're the only one? And you submit your stuff only to find out that you're one of 6 or one of 2 or 3, right? If that's the case, when do you want to know it? I want to know it as soon as possible. May help me adjust my strategy, may help me dig a little bit deeper. If I find out that there are 3 or 4 or more competitors, I'm going to ask, so what were you hoping I could do that they can't do? Right? Who else besides me is part of this? Here's the next question. How are you going to pick? Right? It's a good question. And part of this is, yes, I get to learn. But the next is, I want them to go, well, I guess we'll do blah, this is how we'll do, right? Then you learn. By the way, all this is done before you give away your leverage, which is your proposal, your pricing, your solution, your whatever. They want something from you, you can get something from them. So when you have to make a decision, why then? Who else besides you needs to be a part of this decision? What do you need to see or hear from me to be able to make the decision? Who else you're talking to? How are you going to pick? Now, sometimes to that question, you'll get what I would call a bullshit answer, which is, well, we're going to pick best value, right? Which is an answer that's just kind of top of the mind. It's just throw it out there. It doesn't really, what the hell does that mean? I want to know what that means. I want to know what's valuable to them, what they care about. So how do you respond to, we're going to pick best value? You say, hey, tell me something. That means different things to different people. What does that mean to you? Here's what I want you to know. The answers to all of those questions are very important in your process of your deciding, do I want to move forward? If they're not making a decision for 2 years, if what has to happen is that you're one of 12 people and they're sending them all the proposals off to China for somebody to decide and no, you can't talk to anybody. If there's no reason they have to get it done anytime soon, and chances are they're not going to, or you find out again, like you say, you're one of 12, you may decide, you know what? I think I'm wasting your time. I'm not sure there's anything that I could do that you're not going to get from somebody else. Always be prepared to ask, well, what were you hoping I could do that the other ones can't? Before you give away your stuff, find out their decision-making process. I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales. Share this with somebody else that needs to hear it.